Hi, everyone. Welcome to the CONVO. Today's guest is Bobby MacCannell, founder and CEO of Brightworks Energy. As a solar system designer and someone who has gone through the process of installing a solar system on his home, I'm hoping to get Bobby's insights on recent updates to the Greener Homes program, some of the ways federal incentives could still be improved, and whether homeowners should still take advantage of the current incentives. Welcome to the CONVO, Bobby. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Sophia. Thanks so much for having me on.
Awesome. Could you tell our audience members a little bit about the Greener Homes program and what the latest update was?
Sure, yeah. The Greener Homes program was a program that was initially released by Natural Resources Canada in efforts to make renewable energy technologies more accessible to homeowners and Canadians across the board on the residential side of things. Recent updates that we've heard from the Minister of Finance is that the Greener Homes program will be coming to a close and no longer accepting applications as of March 2024. Really, I guess, in response to an overwhelming demand for the program, and therefore showing some success and some appetite for that program. But ultimately, the resourcing has run out, and deemed that the amounts that each individual was claiming higher than usual. So as such, the program has come to what we believe is sort of an abrupt halt. Weren't ready for that.
Yeah, that's a little disappointing. So what could that 5,000 have been used for? Was it only solar or?
No, there was various types of clean energy technologies that could apply to that. Everything from double insulated windows, insulation, anything to do with the building envelope, solar technologies, heat pumps, really anything to get away from fossil fuels was really eligible for those credits.
So what do you think is actually going to happen after this March deadline? I know elections are coming up. Do you think the program will actually get cut or just transform into something else?
Sophia, I'd never like to speculate in these types of instances. I've seen it happen before when, there's been political kind of turmoil and instability with that leadership. And, I would say that in order for this program and really the drive to adopt these types of systems, we're going to need some kind of program to remain in place in order to incentivize individuals to participate and adopt these types of technologies.
Right. And other countries have done like a tax incentive. Is that something that might, work here, do you think?
I think it's something that can absolutely work here. It's something that actually we all thought was coming in the March 2023 budget, but yes. We found out that that was only applicable to commercial systems and not residential. I would love, I believe I can probably speak on behalf of the industry. I would love to see something like that on the residential side of things. It makes immediate sense and it benefits the homeowner directly and takes out all of the red tape in the middle. It's a perfect way to execute.
So what does this mean for someone who's been on the fence about going solar? Is it now too late to apply with the incentive getting cut?
Well, to be clear, the solar programs, the net metering program isn't going anywhere. The Greener Home program is really just, an incentive for the homeowners. And although the program is coming to an end, it doesn't mean that it's closed just yet. They mentioned that they're accepting applications until March of 2024. So if anything, this is more of the, the last minute of level 1 in Super Mario, where you need to hurry up and really get moving and get that application in and beat the window.
So what was your experience like? Can you give us that background? I mean, did you go through the program when you installed your system, and what kind of timelines could we expect?
Yeah, my experience with the program was, first of all, just my own personal experience. It was a little bit unique. The application process online was pretty straightforward. Finding documents that you should have access to anyways, such things as income slips and proof of ownership of the property and all this kind of stuff.
So fairly straightforward then.
Very straightforward. The timelines were a bit of an issue. It was challenging to navigate in terms of finding a service organization to deploy an energy auditor.
Mhm.
And I found that to be, a little bit interesting. But, as the program evolved, I learned that a lot of these service organizations were actually partnering with large companies such as Enercare and
Mhm.
focusing strictly on heat pumps. And that was one of the challenges that, I recognized trying to install a solar system. There still isn't that much knowledge about it. And as such, I don't know, but I'd be curious to see how much of that greener homes funding was actually applied to solar technologies and solar systems. But overall, once we were able to navigate it, from the time your energy audit takes place to the
Mhm.
time that the application gets approved, then you have to apply for the loan on top of that, if applicable.
Yeah,
Then you
tell
need
us a bit more about that. Like, if you were going the loan route, when can you expect to see that money? Does any of it come up front?
there's a small portion that is released up front. Firstly, you have to go through the grant in order to get the loan. They go hand in hand, and while you're doing that, they release, I believe it's up to 20%. I can't remember what they release up front, but it's a small portion of the total amount of what these systems typically cost, and that's not just exclusive to
Mm.
solar. And then, after this project is completed, you need to schedule your post energy audit. Then they need to file that. Then they need to review it. And then they actually release the funds after that. So you're
Oh, so
speaking
you still
almost
need a
a
big chunk
12,
up
there's
front.
a big timeline there. Yes, absolutely. You're talking about bridge financing for upwards of a year. And you
I
need to
see.
be
Because
prepared
when
for
that
that.
announcement came out, it made it seem like this is great. The adoption's going to go up. It's going to make it more accessible for so many families. But if you still have to have that chunk ready before the loan comes in, it does make it more challenging.
No question. It's one of the nuances, I think, of the program that could have been a little bit better, more well thought out, I suppose. Again, the program is great in spirit and ideology in terms of what they're looking to accomplish with it. But this is the type of execution that really falls through the cracks when really this program is to make these types of technologies more accessible to
Mhm.
the everyday Canadian. And when you have those types of
Because we
financing
need the
vehicles,
everyday Canadian to buy in
that's
and
right. E-
continue, you know.
Exactly. Exactly right. So when it becomes not accessible to everyone, and it really is exclusive to those that have the opportunity and the fortune to bridge finance or finance it themselves, I'm not certain that that's necessarily the target audience that the
No.
that this program was supposed to hit, but
And
definitely
in
something
fact, it
to
needs
to
to be
take
so
away.
much more widespread than that if we have any hope of reaching our national target. So you were talking about timelines a little earlier, and I want to revisit that because March is not that far away. So if someone is considering taking advantage of these incentives, do they need to have everything already prepared in terms of getting their system installed by March, or can they wait a little bit?
No, no, no. At this point, what the most important thing is getting your application in, getting an AP number, getting that number, and ultimately getting that preliminary energy audit conducted. I would
Okay.
say that that's likely going to be the threshold come March 2024. Is if you've gone forward with your initial energy audit and actually invested cash into this program,
So that makes it
then
seem
you're
serious, right? Your application, if you've done
exactly.
the energy audit.
Exactly right. Yes. And so at that point in time, again, that's just my belief is that's how they will evaluate the cutoff. And so you want to make sure that you get that in, you get your energy audit conducted prior to March of 2024. Thereafter, you have 12 months to build out your
Oh,
systems and execute on all of that stuff. So
okay. So
the
that's a
important part is
realistic
getting it.
timeline for sure.
Absolutely. For
And
construction builds, for
is there any requirement that if you've gone through this application, you absolutely need to install a system? Or like is that
if
part
you
of
want
it?
to receive the grants or any of the loan opportunities, then you do need to proceed with one of the recommended upgrades and retrofits from the energy auditor. So that can be a number of things depending on your home or what that looks like. Anything again from insulation to windows to solar energy technologies to heat pumps, etc.
Okay, but it doesn't sound like there's any major drawback. Like you can get your application in, get your number, get your energy assessment, and then figure out the rest from there.
Yes, I mean the real only investment is you have to pay for that upfront energy audit. That's I believe it's $600 or somewhere in that range. And again, that's really the trigger point with the HER Plus program. That now this consumer has invested into the program. They have an application number. They have recommendations in front of them, and now they have to make a choice of how they want to proceed.
And as is, would you say this is still a good program and homeowners should strongly consider it before March?
Absolutely. I mean, if this is something that you've been kind of on the fence about doing in terms of implementing some of these technologies and doing some of these upgrades at your home, it's a great opportunity to do it. I mean, a $5,000 grant in the form of a rebate is terrific, but more importantly, $40,000 interest free in this environment is absolutely really, really attractive. So, if available and you have the opportunity to participate, I would strongly recommend it. Moving forward, I think there is opportunity to execute these things better, but this is what's here right now. And it really is a world-class incentive. And I would strongly encourage anybody that's looking at these opportunities to really take a look at this.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for joining the convo, Bobby. I learned a lot about the program, and I'm hoping that our audience has their questions answered too. So thanks for coming out.
Thanks so much for having me. Let's do this again.
Yeah, for sure.